So yes, that's right. I have been given full access to Dying Light 2 ahead of release, and I have been playing this game like crazy. Special thank you to Techland for providing me with the code. But hey, I'm going to be completely honest with you about what I like about the game and also what I don't care for with this game as well. And there is some stuff in here that I don't particularly like, but my God, this game is definitely an accomplishment. It is a fully realized world, and it is one big open world infested with zombies. And these zombie battles are also super intense, and there's some unique stuff there. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about the actual loot system, combat versus humans, combat versus the zombies. We're going to be also talking about, yes, that nighttime gameplay, which looks absolutely beautiful right here. And yeah, we're going to be going into the negative stuff as well. So let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And let's first of all start out with this beautiful, fully realized open world. I mean, I love the hub spaces in this world. Some of the hub spaces kind of remind me of like Fallout 3, Fallout 4, especially with like the subway system. And I think it's just really, really cool how they've actually laid out this game. And it just looks stunning with the lighting. I think they've done a great job graphically with this game. You know, I'm running this game on a pretty high-end PC. It's not top tier, top of the line, but it runs really well. Like, they have optimized this game with so many options. I think you're going to find something in here that's going to suit you. Of course, you can play it on PS5, Xbox Series X, you know, PS4, Xbox One. And apparently they've done a great job with the old gen version as well. But you got to be warned about the bugs and glitches in this game. I've been hearing reports that some players are experiencing major glitches, major bugs, and then others not so much whatsoever. I myself am in the category of hardly experiencing any groundbreaking bugs so far. So, you know, it could vary with this game. So I'm going to warn you about that. You know, you could get the game experience tons of bugs. You might experience none. You might experience some. But there is going to be a day one patch. I'm curious to see what happens with this one day one. Now, one thing that's really cool about exploring this open world, one of my favorite things are the dynamic encounters, and there are a ton of them in this game, and they shine so much because there's different ways you can tackle these dynamic encounters, and they offer their own unique rewards. You'll be rewarded for, you know, rescuing hostages. And you can see the combat in this game is absolutely brutal. And sometimes you get into this three-way combat situation where you have zombies attacking your enemies and attacking you, and you're attacking them and trying to survive. It just feels so good in this game. You can definitely sabotage your enemies with zombies as well. Then if you rescue, you know, people in this game, you get unique rewards like an immunity booster, which is absolutely critical for nighttime. We're going to be talking about nighttime gameplay. Don't worry. Now, some of the characters in this game, in my opinion, annoy the crap out of me. Beyond the dynamic encounters, you do get into the story stuff, the side activities, and there is some interesting stuff here. Don't get me wrong, but some of these characters go on and on and on. You're just like, that's enough. Spacebar, go forward, you know? That's just my opinion. Some of you may like the in-depth stuff, but a lot of these characters drone on practically about nothing and kind of tend to repeat themselves. However, there are some really interesting things in this game, some interesting plot points that do happen. I'm not going to talk about those. Definitely not going to spoil the story for you guys today. But yeah, it does get more interesting as you go. You just have to get through somewhat, I would say, very typical zombie story arcs before you get to the interesting stuff. So you have to have some patience there. But I did find it a bummer with how much some of these characters do go on and on and on. But yeah, combat versus humans in this game, absolutely amazing. I love it so far. And I haven't played, by the way, all the way through. This is kind of like a review in progress. But my God, the AI in this game, in my opinion, really shines. They will chase you on the rooftops. They can be absolutely relentless, and they can call in for backup. And yeah, again, you can get into combat situations where it's zombies versus, you know, faction, and then you're trying to survive in the mix. Now, one thing that I didn't care for with the combat is the fact that when they actually die, their weapons disappear. You cannot pick up enemy weapons at all. You'll see that disappears right there. The only way to obtain weapons in this game is by crafting them through blueprints, which you have to find throughout the world, or by going here and finding a container with a weapon. Now, there are some really cool things with this. It does make weapons feel a bit more rare and valuable, considering that they do also break. So you have to be mindful about how much battles you actually get into and how much weapons you have in your inventory. You can also go in there and buy weapons from vendors and that sort of thing. But, you know, zombies, they don't really have much in the way of a lot of loot as well. They do have some unique stuff in there, and you will be finding some unique zombies that you will want to chase down for trophies, which is really, really cool. And of course, there's the currency, which is kind of rare in the game. You have to find out ways to actually make money. But myself, I really enjoy the combat versus the humans in this game. And some of these enemy encounters with zombies are advertised as being like very scary and potentially difficult. And you're like, oh man, this is something new. I can't wait to face off against this zombie. And then it kind of ends up being a letdown. This has happened once so far in the game for me. And you previously saw a really cool zombie battle. Don't get me wrong, but some of these encounters are like, hey, you know, this is going to be like a really powerful zombie. Then you just go up to it and just whack the crap out of it. And that's pretty much it. Maybe I got lucky, but that was kind of a letdown for me personally. But yeah, there's some really cool things to do to face off against the tougher enemies. And that's where the skill tree comes in with combat and parkour. You'll be upgrading both of these aspects of your character, as well as your immunity, and your stamina, and yes, your health. So a lot of stuff to dive in here. And I was very, very happy to see how deep these skill trees actually are. And yeah, you got crafting as well, which again requires you to find blueprints through missions and things like that. So the game feels right now very rewarding. That's one thing I will say. I love how rewarding this game does feel, because you're always finding new things, which unlock new gear, weapons, and ways to unleash your parkour and combat skills. Now, in the actual open world, there's some rewarding stuff here as well. One thing you're going to have to consider during the daytime is how you're going to survive at nighttime. And one of the ways you do this is by finding these windmills, which can be a challenge to climb. Sometimes you don't have enough stamina and you have to upgrade your character further. But finding these windmills and unlocking them and upgrading them is absolutely essential for nighttime survival, because you get access to UV light, which is a way for you to basically become immune, I guess you would say, to the zombie virus that's infected you and your bloodstream. So you go in here, you unlock the windmill, and there's additional bonuses to this as well, because the townsfolk show up and they start building. Vendors are unlocked, and it's a pretty cool cinematic, as you can see here. People pretend to know how to build in this cinematic and how to use a hammer, which I found hilarious. But anyway, it's a really cool system. Once you get it unlocked, you know, hey, this is going to be a safe place I can go to if I get into a lot of trouble. And yeah, you can really feel the trouble coming when the sun starts setting in this game. I literally get goosebumps in this game from the sun setting. It's a beautiful sight, but it's an ominous one for sure. And you know you're entering the danger zone once it starts happening, because you hear alarms going off, the warning system is going off, and the zombies are coming out, like the very powerful zombies. But there's major advantages to playing at nighttime. Of course, there's nighttime missions, nighttime stories. So that's really, really cool. But you got to get into the UV light, because your immunity can get to critical levels, as you can see right here. And I remember going through this one right here. I had like 60 seconds left to get into the UV light, to bring myself back to normal, I guess you would say, to bring my immunity levels up. And if you do not get into the UV light fast enough, you will definitely die. But yeah, you'll find these really cool facilities which have been kind of cleared of zombies, because what happens at nighttime is there's these critical facilities that have zombies infested in them during the day. And once you go to them at nighttime, it's kind of more clear for you to explore these areas. It's still very, very dangerous, so you have to really be stealthy, but you can go in here and find some really, really unique crafting parts, immunity boosters, and things that are absolutely critical to your character progress. And if you clear one of these areas, the amount of experience you get towards combat and parkour is absolutely insane. This is one of the ways you can really upgrade your character very, very quickly. So I love the difference, by the way, between nighttime and daytime gameplay. And as you can see, there's some mechanics of lockpicking and stuff like that. So I love the fact that they've worked so hard to have such a difference between the two worlds, I guess you would say, day and nighttime, because it really does feel like two different worlds. And I think this is where the game really shines. Now, as you explore the open world, there's some mini games you can do as well, things like that. You can do like time trials, parkour stuff, which of course, if you do really, really good at this, you can further upgrade your character. And you can go back and revisit this once you've upgraded your character even more to really hit those like gold tier ranks and get even more agility points and things like that. So this system is a lot of fun. It's a cool distraction. And the parkour, by the way, feels so good in this game. In my opinion, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed in first person. It just feels so damn good when you're playing this game. So yeah. Overall, with this game that does have some problems, again, I'm really curious to see what happens launch day. There is going to be a day one patch. I'm a little bit apprehensive about the bugs and glitches considering the reports have been all over the place right now. I have seen stuff from, official critics saying that, hey, this is like tons of glitches. And I've seen other YouTubers saying, what are they talking about? I've been having a great time. I myself, again, I'm in the boat where I'm running into very minimal problems with glitches and bugs. Nothing groundbreaking so far, thank goodness, because once you start running into things that stop you from progressing with the story, that's where you have major issues. I haven't run into that yet. We'll see what happens. I do cross my fingers for Techland's sake that this one is a smooth launch because I'm so over these bad launches. But there it is, everyone. Dying Light 2, I myself am having an absolute blast with this one. Remember, it does have co-op, so that is an option. I think a lot of the glitches and bugs are coming from the co-op side of things, the online when that's enabled. But when you play single player, I think it's a nice, smooth experience, at least for me. But yeah, Dying Light 2, February 4th. Expect some more videos here very soon about Dying Light 2. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. And I will see you all next time. Take care.